Can you guys hear me? No? Uh-oh. I picked up the wrong mic. I don't think there's anything I can do to change it now. Yeah, I picked up my headset mic. Oh well. I'll put that one back. There we go. That's a little cleaner. Oh my god, we made it. You just have one of those weeks, man, where just like nothing's going right. Nothing's going right. You're slowly draining. You see that finish line. You think it's never gonna come. This is one of those weeks, man. But here we are. Here we are. How's it going, Caesar, man? How's your grind going, man? There was some good stuff that happened this week. A lot of well, before we get going in the weekend live stream, if you haven't checked out my latest course, has almost a perfect 5-star. It's called the 100 Front End Challenge. 100 questions to get you started for those front end technical interviews. You can get it for just $9.99 using coupon code CodingGod. There's a link in the description. Shameless plug before we get going. But yeah, man, I'm exhausted. Like truly and utterly exhausted. And not only that, like, you know what's crazy is I've been it's not even that I'm just exhausted from work. I've been live streaming nonstop. So if you guys have been noticed, I've been coding every single day, live streaming every single day. I might do a little session after this. I've just been having a blast on this side project, man. Hey, kitty. I'm glad, Caesar, you're doing good. Hey, I'm a coding god. We're all coding gods. We're connected. All right. Oh my god, though. All right, you're too hot. Sorry, buddy. It's too hot up in here. Oh my goodness. It's been a week. It's been a week among weeks, and like we're gonna keep it going, man. Tomorrow I'm gonna be recording my podcast. A couple more episodes. I'll be working on my side project. On top of that, another side project. I have some videos I have to record. Udacity. I might do a video with them. They had a meeting with Udacity again. They said they were gonna send me something, never did. But yeah, man, I'll keep going. It's exciting though. It's exciting feeling passionate about something. Like, buddy. Like, I mean, I think I can be honest enough to say that I'm passionate about software, but not necessarily passionate about software I build for other people. But I'm passionate about software, and I'm passionate about building software for myself, and that's a whole different thing. I don't know. I've been gone all day. Hey, buddy. My bootcamp final is tomorrow. I'm not worried about passing. Very worried about finding a job afterwards. So, I'd recommend getting somebody like me or them to review your LinkedIn, review your GitHub, review your resume, and because having a good resume is the number one thing that's going to get you callbacks. And make sure your LinkedIn's good, make sure your GitHub's good. Those are the 3 things that I would highly recommend, as well as having a good cover letter. So the 4 things. How are you able to maintain so many hours of concentration a day? It's sort of strange, Christopher. So to do what I'm doing now, and this is why I tell you guys about learning fundamentals, about learning how to learn. I don't memorize things anymore. Like, I stopped that a long time ago. Like, early on in your web dev goal, you memorize. So I've been able to learn fundamentals and know things that I don't even have to think about anymore. So a lot of times when I'm doing these 2-hour live streams, which I'm interacting with chat, I'm building components, I'm connecting services, I'm testing them, we're using like dependency inversion, the whole deal. What I'm doing there is I'm just an autopilot. I'm just like, and when you're in autopilot, yeah, you're tired and it, but you don't really have to concentrate because you already know, like, I already know what I'm going to build before I even build it. And so what's there to concentrate because I've done it so many times. Yeah, it's going to be look different. Yeah, it's going to function different, but I understand that that what the fundamentals of a component are, what the fundamentals are of service, how they intertwine, how to decouple them, and how sometimes you tightly couple them, and how to avoid that sort of stuff. Our storm says had my 60-day review, and I'm absolutely killing on my first software job. Girlfriend and I are getting our own apartment again, and an Aussie puppy, all from you. Good for you, man. Good for you, our stars. You know I'm about those Aussie puppies. I got two. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we have two puppies. Hello Gator is 11 months and he's 70 pounds. We just went to the vet the other day. He's already 70 pounds. And Boise, who's also a black tri Australian Shepherd, she has blue eyes and she's about 25 pounds, about 4 months. They're a lot of work, aren't they? Yeah, man. So I put up a fence in my backyard, and even with one of the walls built, there's like 250 feet of fence. Even though the back wall was there, it cost me $5,000. I put it up like no questions asked after about 2 months with a single puppy, because sometimes you just need to throw them in the backyard. Like we have a big house, so it's fine. They can run about and whatnot. I don't care if it doesn't like it, but um, you need space. You need a place for them to go, and just sometimes you just need 20 minutes. It's like, you need to chill, dog. And you just throw them both out back there. Um, Nice, Jesse. Good luck with the career prep, man. Some places have been good, some places have been bad with career prep. So don't let that be your only prep. Is what I want to say to a lot of you guys with coding boot camps is, career prep, and that's sort of like anything else when you're educating yourself. Educate yourself from multiple resources about the same thing. You'll find what's important and what's good. So hey Dylan, had a coworker admit that he didn't think I had the skills when he first met me, because it's because I'm a minority. What's minority got to do anything with it, man? He could. So I mean, here's the truth of the matter. Not I don't know your situation, Kevin. I think the truth of the matter is, and this is just a guess, but I'd like to think that instead of someone, it's possible that you just weren't, when you interviewed, you didn't interview very well. I think that's the more likely scenario, or you know, than racism. I mean, it could be, but I mean, we have to base that off something, right? Um, like I, so I would say that there's plenty of people I've met, white or otherwise, that I have thought have been bad developers, and not once has race played into it. So I think making assumptions based off that is unfortunate. Now, it could be that you interviewed poorly. It could be that there's a specific part of technology that this individual knew in more in depth, and maybe you didn't meet those standards. There's plenty of things like that. Like, I'll give you an example. If you don't understand testing, clean code, or the solid principles, and you miss more than one of those things, like I, I, I don't want you on my team. You can miss one, that's fine. You have to be familiar. You got to speak to at least two out of the three, though, and that to me would mean that I don't think you can do the job. But I don't know. Maybe he is just racist. um, are pets a big financial hit on you? Pet insurance, food. So we don't have pet insurance. We probably should. But I mean, I don't know. We don't have pet insurance. Food, yeah. So my girlfriend doesn't get like 9 lives. We go to a pet store, and so between 3 cats and 2 dogs, food is probably, I don't know, $150 a month, something like that. And then you have litter, which is like $20-$30 a month for the cats. Then you have all the other stuff. So I probably spend like $250 a month, $300 on my pets. But you have to put it in perspective, right? Like, $300 a month is it's a sizable income, but they're a sizable amount of money. And not to mention, like each one of those dogs costs. I think I bought Gator for 600, and I bought Boise for 800. And then you have to take them to the vet and stuff like that. So somewhere around $300. Um, so um, for me, it's not a big financial hit. $300 when my take-home pay is 6,000, and I bring in another 2 to 3,000 plus a month on side incomes. It's not $300 isn't a big deal. To me, it's a investment worthwhile. Dylan, when you say you stop trying to memorize things, you mean you learn just to look things up? I learn by reference. So what I mean by that is like I remember a thing is a thing. I remember that the general. So I remember 20% of like if I had to give you a short description of what something is, I remember that. Um, and when it comes to memorization, I remember concepts. So and then I remember what relates to those concepts. That makes sense. Yeah, pet insurance covers things. So I've looked into pet insurance, and so for like all of our pets, it'd be like $100 plus a month, which is about $20 pet. It's actually probably I think it was closer to 150 now because we got another dog now. Dogs are more expensive, but the general gist of it is it basically just covers if something awful happens to our pets. So I did the math. I sat down and did the math one day, and I said, let's say one of our animals gets hit by a car once every 3 years. This is how I did the math. Let's say one of our animals got hit by a car once every 3 years, and it's costing us about $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. So what is that? 3,600, 5,200. So it's $5,200 for a major medical emergency for one of our animals getting hit by a car once every 3 years. And I said to myself, why don't I just self-insure? And so, Dave Ramsey a while back turned me on this thing about self-insuring things where self-insurance essentially means that hey, you know that let's say you were putting it's going to cost $5,000 once every 3 years to take care of my cat if it gets hit by a car. Yeah, I'm just guessing. Why don't I instead just invest $5,000 and make sure I have $5,000 to cover that charge? And so that's sort of where I ended up on it. Yeah, here's the thing: is like the majority of people don't have $400. I think the last stat I saw was like 67% of people would have to borrow money for a $400 bill. So I don't ever want to be in that category. And you know, would I pay? Would if Tito here got hit by a car, I have 5 Gs to keep Tito here? Yeah, just pay it out of pocket. And I instead would um, do I have any experience working at defense companies? Yes. I worked for a government contracting company. Um, what can I say about working with government contracting companies or the government is that oftentimes you have to, there's a lot of legal stuff as to why you have to support Internet Explorer. Other than that, it's just outdated. You get less qualified candidates because the pay is worse and things like that. What was the first job where you had clean code and solid principles became crucial to getting and keeping the job? Oftentimes, it's crucial to you moving up and getting better roles and continuing to grow. Um, what you'll find, this sounds kind of crazy, is that unless you're at a tech company or everybody were the director, the tech lead, the business is all about delivering a quality product, is that 9 out of 10 companies won't, or you're on a very small team where you control all of the code base. Very few people will care about the quality of the application they're developing. I have found this to be true at pretty much every organization I've worked at. So the only thing that you can do is try to lead by example and try to educate. So one thing I'm always preaching is about clean code. One thing I'm always preaching is about utilizing reusability, solid principles, good code organization, minimal HTML, minimal markup, um, all these sorts of things. So yeah, it's oh, oh, pooch, pooch, pooch. Someone said his cat was gonna smack me earlier. What did your portfolio look like before you got a job? Go to codingtutorials360.com. That was the extent of my portfolio when I got my very first job. Although I did have things on CodePen. I had like Wikipedia. I had Twitch API. Uh oh. I don't want to get swiped down, downstairs. Come on. Um, what dogs are getting in trouble. How crucial is a portfolio for getting your foot in there? You can have a portfolio in a lot of different ways. What I would tell you is that having a unique portfolio is more important than just having like a coding portfolio. Be able to be unique, be able to show that you actually code. You'd be surprised how many people apply for jobs and then you're like, okay, I see you have these technologies, but where can I actually see them? On your GitHub? No, I don't have any there. But I do it. I do it, yeah. It's like what? Um, so I think just having side projects in general is more important than a portfolio. Any methods for testing for just HTML and CSS? Testing of HTML and CSS. Well, there's end-to-end testing. You could look into things like Cypress. You could look into things like Selenium. What percentage of your coworkers do you think code in their free time? Less than 10% in general is what I would say. Um, have I ever worked for IBM? No. But yeah, I would say probably 10% of developers code outside in their free time. That'd be my go-to guess. Between all my coworkers, I've worked probably with about 50 developers. I'd definitely say less than 5 of those code outside of work. A lot of people are okay after they get their foot in the door, letting the years of experience speak for it. When you talk about testing, you're only talking about writing JavaScript tests for your framework of choice, correct? Sort of. I mean, it could mean a lot, right? So typically, I'll ask applicants, how do you test your code? And some people will just say, I click through and I make sure that it works, and that's definitely part of a right answer. Another answer, the continuation of the answer is I write unit tests, which can be in various languages or frameworks, but you understand the core idea of a unit test is to test functionality, and you also can go into how you write those unit tests and how you create mocks and how you test for acceptance criteria and how you try to write tests to be less technical and more business oriented to make sure you're delivering the value, because the technical aspects of it may change, but the intent of it should still remain the same. And then there's end-to-end testing and things like that. So um, I haven't worked at any companies where they have developers do end-to-end testing. Usually they farm that out to QA and let them do it if they do it. And um, you know, I'm usually talking about unit testing though. How many React projects did you build before you decided you preferred Angular? So I was learning Angular JS when I was learning React at that time, because that's how ancient I am. So Angular was in beta, I want to say, and Angular 2 plus, right? Was in beta, and I was like, cool, yeah, I'll go and I tried them both. I liked Angular JS better, so I picked that up, and then I just happened to learn Angular 2, and so because I took a job and that's what they were using, I eventually ended up transitioning to I've tried Vue. I've worked professionally in Vue. I've worked professionally in Angular, and I've built like 3 or 4 projects in React. And I just happen to like Angular better. I think it has more features and functionalities. I think Gator, come here. I don't want him choking on this. Here, buddy. You want a water bottle? But I happen to think that so are 4 projects enough to put on a resume and LinkedIn before applying to jobs? 1 is enough if it's good enough. So 4 is fine. Big boy. I have an interview coming up that's going to be pretty CSS heavy. Any tips? Yeah. I have a course that has over 40 of the top CSS questions that you should study, and you can get it in the description for just $9.99. But yeah, you want to make sure you understand things like responsive design, semantic HTML, Flexbox, CSS grid, CSS specificity, the CSS box model. Yeah, those are a few. Probably be able to speak to the difference between CSS and like preprocessor. For the record, bought the course already. Well, there you go. You're prepped, son. You mentioned before that React makes bad developers. What does that mean? So I wouldn't necessarily say it makes bad developers. I would just say Angular makes better developers. Angular forces you to, I mean, in fairness, if you want to do some hacky Angular, you can. But Angular introduces a lot of higher level topics, such as singletons, such as object-oriented programming, dependency inversion, services. A lot of these higher level things that I think are really nice, and introduces JavaScript devs to the concept of static types versus dynamic types. So there's a lot of that. Now, the thing I have a problem with, and it's all one framework. The issue I have with React is, first off, it changes too much. And secondly, the dependencies are all over the place. So people use whatever the hell they want in React, and so you can't go from one React project to another without getting too comfortable. How comfortable were you with HTML and CSS when you started applying? My fear is getting a design and getting stuck. I wasn't that comfortable, but nowadays I wouldn't even bat an eye at it. I finished a boot camp and now I'm contracting on a Google project, but I'm completely new to their languages and feel lost. Just put in the time, man. It's your job. Your job is to get up to speed and keep doing it. What's the best way to go from a junior dev to a mid dev at work? It's to leave for another company. You'll make more money and you'll get promoted. That's usually the best way. Statistically speaking, anyhow. I do full stack JavaScript, so it's MongoDB, Node, and Angular. Although I haven't touched the back end other than once or twice since I've been at my company for about 3 months. They've been keeping me in the web app, trying to fix it and refactor it and add features and all that sort of stuff. The one time I went in the back end, I was told to stay the hell out, politely. Oh no, don't worry, we got it. You don't, no. I work on a greenfield development project. Ooh, buddy. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Joshua Fluke's ideas on the corporate model? I think he's right. I'll be the first one to tell you that if you are planning on a corporation to take care of you, then you are definitely mistaken. So that's what I would say, and he's right. Companies will cut you as soon as they need to, and companies will want you to be part of their culture, and companies will, you're there for a paycheck. They're not your family. Now he's a little harsh because of friends. I have a lot of great friends from company. I literally hang out on a weekly basis with a lot of them from previous workplaces, but not every workplace has been like that. Only one of some. One of three. But you're not going to necessarily go to make friends with everybody that you work with. But yeah, he's right. If you don't plan to work for yourself one day or create passive income with your income, then you're gonna find yourself at retirement age a little bit bitter, a little bit broke, and have some regrets, I think. And I think that's probably part of what he's trying to get across. You got to take care of yourself because companies are going to take care of themselves, man. That's the truth of the matter. No matter what company you're at, they got to do what's best for them, and you have to do what's best for you. So your full stacker doesn't mess with backend much lately. Yeah, that's definitely the case. I'm definitely doing the front end. What do you do when your UI skill are butt cheeks? Should I just go with the template? You can do what I do, which I hire someone on Fiverr for $5 a screen and help them do it. So, Dylan laying down the best channel on YouTube. Hey, you're welcome, R Storms. We got R Storms. Not only did we get him a puppy, we got him and his girlfriend an apartment. She probably was going to leave him. Said, I'm sick of going to your mama's house. Moving on. Making dreams come true. Saving relationships, I bet. Yeah. No. Yeah. Hi there, JavaScripters. We took her parents in, man. Hey, hey, look, man, it's cool. You ain't got a front, man. We've all heard the, hey, no. My mom lives with me. All right. It ain't her house. She lives with me. Look, dude, it's cool, man. Dylan, why wouldn't you suggest trying to get a promotion instead of leaving? Uh, I'm not saying so. Here's the thing. All right, so let's change your mentality. Let's pretend we're Jay Fluke for a quick second, because he's gonna tell you the same thing, I'd imagine. Um, Actually, he'll probably tell you don't want to work for a company, and then he'll tell you how to do it first. So what I'm gonna let's just get into this mindset of why wait for someone to give you something that has a low probability or a less proper probability when statistically speaking, you are more likely to go get a raise at another organization and make more money than they are to give you a raise or a promotion. That's what I'm saying. Is statistically speaking, especially early on in your career, when you go and you're saying, "Okay, cool, I got a $5,000 raise from 60,000 to 65." That's cool. That's let's say 66. That's a 10% raise. But guess what? You could have gone from 66,000 or from 60,000 to 80,000, and now you're looking at a 33% raise in your first year. Statistically speaking, you're going to get farther along in your career earlier on. Those early years is how you need to ramp up. So, should you try and get a promotion? Sure, but just try and get a promotion by being better, where you can hope that they appreciate you and they do what they're going to do, or you could go and get it elsewhere. I'm not telling you just to quit a job to quit a job. I'm saying if there's a better opportunity, go and get it. Don't do not be passive in your career. Please, please, please do not be passive in your career. This is one of the things I can stress time and time again, is the things that have allowed me personally to double my income in 2 years as a developer and continue to grow is I haven't been passive. I've been very active with what it has been that I've been trying to do and how I've been trying to get better and how I've been trying to grow. You need to be active in your career. And when you take a passive approach, meaning that I'm just going to let them give me what they want to give me, sometimes they give you good, sometimes they don't. But when you go get good, you always get good, you know? So that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying statistically speaking, you're going to get more money for leaving a job than for staying in a job. So when they bring somebody new in, do you know that it is, even though you've been there longer for the same position, that is statistically likely that that new person makes more money than you? Now, there will be a point in your career later on once you become a senior dev. Like all the stuff we're talking about, until you're a senior developer, we don't even need it's not even a discussion. Like, it's just the facts. Now, once you get to a senior developer or tech lead, now you start getting into this range where benefits matter more. Companies, they only can pay you so much, but then the benefits get better. You have to factor that in, and then you have to make sure that that what your market rate is. It gets a little harder to raise your salary that way. Thinking of doing a career change, completely new to coding, done with HTML, basic on free code camp, continue with CSS. Any tips for a hopeful future coder? Yeah, either commit or don't. That's really the best thing I can tell you. And literally code every day until you have a job. That's it. Every single day you're putting 2 hours to 4 hours into this until you have a job. When it's not fun anymore, you do something different. You're sick of building websites, do some algorithms. Sick of building algorithms, build something. Look at API documentation. You're sick of doing that, watch a video on it. You're sick of doing that, go to meetups. And by the time you've done through 5 or 6, go back to step 1. Continue to grow every single day until you have a job. That's the key. Every single day, not every other day, not when you're free, not every single day. You are moving forward one step at a time. You have a job within a year. I have a coding YouTube channel. What do you recommend for camera equipment? Just use your cell phone, man. Thomas Rio, 10 months, every single day I start Monday. There you go, son. Went from, if I remember correctly, a truck driver to now a software developer. Jesse Sperlin here says, I'm so sick of working on my React app right now. I switch over to working on Dylan's 100 algorithm challenge to get you prepped for those technical whiteboard interviews, which you can get for $9.99 using coupon code CodingGod in the description below. Do you want to stay on the website or want to branch something else? If so, what and where? I mean, I'm okay staying on the website. I would say that at some point, the only way I don't mind doing anything. So I like doing it all, but people pay me to do web. Like if they're like, hey man, what do you think about going to data science? Cool. You gonna pay me fat checks? Yeah. Even though I don't know data science type stuff. Yeah. Okay. Like I got offered for a cloud dev, which can make very good money, but they were going to invest in me, so I had to take a salary cut down to $70,000, which is not something I was okay doing. Instead, um, I would instead just continue to grow my skills in web. Hey, I do front end, now I do full stack, now I do DevOps, and go that way because that's a natural transition. Um, how do you know he's a truck driver? He brought it up yesterday. Yeah. Follow that money trail. So here's the thing is so DevOps pay so DevOps pays DevOps pays a little bit more than being a full stack developer. Um, Now there's a couple things we can do about this, and this is again being very active in your life, being very active in your career, and being very active with your finances. I could make the transition from full stack to from really front end to full stack to DevOps. I don't have an AWS cert. No, I could invest time and effort and energy into that. That would be a fair assessment. But that is time, effort, and energy that is going to somebody is going to how to put it determine what my value is and say, okay, cool, that's what my salary is. Now, I could also instead take that time, effort, and energy building courses, which I can sell and will for sure, in quotes, make money outside of it and will grow my personal brand. I can go and build the web application I've been building, and which I'm hoping, and develop money and assets outside of the single dimension of being employed. Because there is a cap. The cap for you as a developer at any tier, excluding New York, San Francisco, but pretty much any job that's not a doctor or a lawyer, the cap is around 200,000. That's the cap. Maybe once you get around senior director level, 250. But you have to understand there is absolutely a cap, that glass ceiling, that's about $200,000 for a tech lead, for a director. That cap exists. Now you have to understand that, and if you do, then you say, okay, well, why don't I work outside of that cap and not put all my eggs in one basket? So yeah, you can transition, but dishwasher and buster to dev. Good for you, man. I don't know if I've ever told this story, but at my first real job, not before I was a developer, um, um, I so I worked at a software company, and I was what had title of technology trainer, and I'd been there for 9 months, and around 6 months, I told my boss like, hey, when I took this job, I wanted to be a dev, this and that, and nothing happened. And so I went and I got, this goes back earlier to our Kevin Lopez. He said, yeah, we're gonna work on it, we're gonna get you there, you just need a little time, this and that, more or less. But so I had this talk with him. He's a nice guy, I respect him, smart guy. um, little bit awkward, right? But who isn't as a developer? And he goes, yeah, he's gonna work at it, and did some stuff for like 3 4 days. Nothing happened after that. So okay, cool. Um, so I started applying for jobs because I was active. I'm not going to wait for you to give me what I want. I know what I want. I know I can do it. So I'm going to go get it from somebody else. And that's what I did. And so about 6 weeks later, I had a job. And after I went in, I gave him my notice. I told him I gave my 2 weeks. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I accepted a role as a front end developer." He immediately went into his boss's office, and goes to his awkwardness, where the doors open, and he was deaf in one ear, if I remember correctly, so he spoke very loudly, and so it oftentimes sounded like he was yelling, even though I don't think that was his intent. And so, essentially, I told you we needed to give him a raise, this and that. Now he's leaving. I really liked him, this and this and that. Um, but here we are. If I link one of my front end portfolio sites, can you check it out and give me feedback? Um, I don't think I can share it on here, so I don't think it'd make very good content. So, but anyhow, so yeah, so instead, what did I do? I was active in my career. I ended up in Florida. I ended up going from 45,000 and hourly to a 62,000 salary to a 67 3,000 3 months after that to 75 to 105 to 110 to 115, and then bonuses and better benefits on top of all that. So because I was active in my career, be active. Do not wait for people to show you that they value you. Go and prove your own value. Go and get better. So if you think you deserve something, go and show it. The market will show you that you are worth it. Don't wait for one or two people in your organization to say you are. I've yet to be at a company where my bosses walked out and be like, "Hey, Dylan, you're doing a fantastic job." They've said that. They've said this first part. You're doing a fantastic job. We really appreciate you mentoring these other developers. We can see that the code quality's gone up, and that we have a better product. There's more testing. It's easier to work in. We're able to deliver good features. Keep it up, and walks off. So they've said that a couple times. What they haven't said is all that followed up. And you know what? Now that we've seen you in action and we've seen how much quality you can deliver in just 6 months, we've decided to give you a $30,000 raise. That has never happened. However, when you've proven your worth and you've and you've interviewed and people give it to you, that has happened. Um, so managers do oftentimes have very little decision over you. That is correct. Yeah, my girlfriend just got let go from her digital illustration job, so she started her own clip art shop. After 2 weeks, she has doubled what she was making and will get residual income with no boss. Yep. Have I ever used Java? No. So I'm airplane airplane pilot, right? I like the story about the Bluetooth guy eating a salad in Dreamweaver real devs. Yeah, did I tell you that guy? That guy's like one of his coworkers called me like a year later. They needed some devs, and and I said I said something like, "Well, this is me being a child." I instantly recognized the people. I was like, "Where's this?" Because I don't remember. It was in long. I've been in Florida like a year and a half, and I asked how much it paid, and they're like, "I think we can go up to 18 or something like that." I was like, "Ah, I make more than that now. Sorry, thanks, man." uh, yeah. So Kevin Lopez here. All right, Kevin. So you are getting out of poverty right now, right? So you're going from washing dishes and all that jazz, right? Which I'm guessing you're not making a lot of money bussing tables and washing dishes, so you've probably doubled to triple your income. So first thing I would tell you is whatever this is my advice for all of you guys when it comes to money. Now, I'm not the best with money, but I am better than 99% of the people out there. So first thing you do is you pay off all your debt. Simple stuff, smallest to largest. Follow the Dave Ramsey plan. Eliminate your debt. So you got credit card debt, eliminate it. You got car debt, eliminate it. 4 times as much now. Great. So you're in a fantastic position. You got credit card debt, eliminate it. Car debt, eliminate it. Student loans, eliminate it. You don't go and get a new car. You don't go and get an apartment. You go, you rent a room, you stay at your mom's. Right now is the best time of your life to get your life on track. All right. So after you've eliminated your debt and you start saving. You save a nest egg, 3 to 6 months expenses, standard stuff. So when a bad downturn happens where, hey, I worked at a startup and they cut me, you're not homeless. All right. After that, you're matching your 401k. If your work has a 401k, you match it to start. After that, you're now investing, saving money, and you're looking for a house. You're looking for an investment property. You're looking for something to put money into stocks. And now your money's making money. So let's say at the end of your first year, you're like, dude, I paid off all my debt. I got $10,000 in the bank. Let's say you can earn 7% on that $10,000. Now you made $700 a year on that first one. So continue to do that, continue to grow, that's it. Just keep on doing the right things. That's it. Do not increase your lifestyle until you have taken care of all your debts, you have started investing, and automatically cut your checks up into multiple accounts: an investment account, a spending account, investment account 30%, spending account 70%, and even more if you can. So what was that early story? That guy asked for more money. The guy on the phone got mad and was like, "Good luck with that" or something. Yeah, that was him. The guy at the time, I don't remember if it was $18 or $15 an hour. Yeah, man, you have that wonky stuff that happens. Okay, and here's the thing, Kevin. You're probably paying like 10% a year, 10 to 20% a year on your debts. Let's say you're at the higher end at 20%. You have 10K in debts. You're paying $2,000 a year. Now, let's say you pay it all off and you invest 10,000. You're now making, and we'll say you make 7%, which is a reasonable amount to get back. You're making $700. So between the two, from going from $10,000 in debt, paying 20% on it, to investing 10,000, having making a 7% return, you have now increased your money on that $10,000 theoretically by $2,700, because now that's the opportunity of growth right there. Because not only are you losing 2,000, you're also then losing potentially the money you would have made if you didn't have debt and increase your monthly investments and all that sort of stuff. That's how I look at it. When's the next Dolan video coming out? Go bother Ricky, man. I told Ricky we have it. You said invest in property? You can. So early on in your career, if you plan on staying where you're at, it's fine. What I would say right now, pay off all your debts. Do not get a house payment with any debt. You don't want that in your life, man. If you can stay with your mom, with your girl, with your family, pay off all your debts and become debt free. Save that 3 to 6 months. And if you plan on staying in your area, like for me, I'm a loose trigger, man. So like for me, when I bought a house, I was like, yo, I don't know about all this, because I'll get up, I'll move to Idaho next week. I don't give a shit. I'm crazy like that. You know, But if you're like, hey, I'm willing to take on other opportunities that may be good, even if they're in a different city, don't buy a house. Pay off all your debts anyhow. Save that money, put it into stocks, even then start your 401k, all that sort of stuff. What's the best thing to invest into? Yourself, dog. Like, put money into yourself and go make that. What's my car that I bought for $13,100 was brand new, 100,000 mile warranty, 44 miles. It was the um, Mitsubishi Mirage 2015 or 2016. Didn't Ricky leave there? Yeah, Ricky's in Salt Lake. I keep on telling him we're gonna go visit him for Christmas. If you need to get started with investing, you can just do something like Robinhood. If you use the link in the description that I have for it, you'll get a free stock. I'll get a free stock when you sign up. It's somewhere between $3 and $200. Not gonna lie, I feel like I can get a better quality girl now. Look, bro. Hey. Let's Kevin Lopez. Let's calm down right now. Don't be doing your girl dirty. So April has been dating me since I delivered pizzas. You know how much the first year how much money the first year April and I started when we started dating, how much money I made? $12,000 a year. Okay, so I made $12,000 a year, and that girl loved me all the same. Do you know how much money I'll clear this year? Between $150,000 and $170,000. Now, think about this for a second. Do you want that girl in your life that didn't give a shit? That didn't give a shit that you were washing dishes and that was there because she liked you, because she believed in you? Or are you just gonna go and try and get the new hotness who wouldn't have given you the time of day? Oh, you don't have a girl? All right, that's fair. I was like, don't be doing your girl dirty, man, because I'm telling you, man, you're gonna suffer, man. Dolan's around, dude. Don't worry. So sometimes you get a little Dolan in these live streams. Good luck, Henry. Let me know how that goes, man. I would assume something like that. 13,000 is so good for a new car. So the Mitsubishi Mirage. So I did a lot of research when I did this, and the reason I bought a new car, and I don't advise buying a new car for the most part, was one. I had such bad luck with cars, and I was like, look, if I'm gonna get a new car, I'm gonna get like the cheapest new car I can get that meets a couple of requirements. One, and mind you, in 2014 when I bought this car, it's been about 5 years, so we're at like 92,000 miles, so we're getting close to that 100,000 mile warranty, so it might be time for a new one. But one, it's got to be low cost, like 15K max, absolute max, no joke. It's got to have high gas mileage, and it's got to have 100,000 mile warranty. Because what am I going to pay all this money for a new car and not at least get a warranty? So that's what I got. So it was brand new, $13,100. It had 44 highway, 40 city, and 100,000 mile warranty. I said, all right, here we go. I'll get it. And you know what I did when I got a dev job? I paid that shit off. First 9 months. Only debt I had. Only because I was dumb when I was 18 and my brother lent me money for a credit card to pay it off, and I did. I closed it, paid it off. Never didn't open one up until this year. Where I got a cashback card. I'm at the end of my boot camp, and there's still people who don't know how to clone a Git repo. You'd be surprised. I've worked with a few developers like that. You know what I really want to get? Dylan, do you have a GitLab? No, I don't. I just use GitHub. I don't need more than one spot for it. Like, I don't want to have to juggle these repos. What do they call that? You know what? I've been thinking about buying. I'm not even bullshitting you. I've been talking about it for about a year. Have you seen the slingshots? So some of these slingshots are like you can get them used. So like people buy them, and you can get them used like 3-4 years old for like 15 grand. They're like the little 3-wheeled cedars. Dude, I love them. I haven't driven one yet, but every once in a while I drive by the thing. I'm like, dude, maybe I'll go take a look, see what's going on. How do the devs you work with without getting knowing it? You'd be right. The very first dev job I ever had, I showed up. I showed up, and they literally I was like, okay, cool. Where can I get the code? Fucking handed me a USB drive, and I was like, no way. Like, no way you just handed me a USB drive. There's absolutely no way. That was my very first dev job. And so about 8 months in, I had nothing left to learn there. And that's why I moved on. Get better, make more money, become a better developer. Dude, I'm not bullshit. I was like, it's my first job, dude. I'm nervous. I got a collared shirt on, a tie. It's like day one. I'm like, where is the how do I get the code? I was like, dude, I moved 3,000 miles for this shit. I was like, I'll take it. Resume experience, but god damn. Hey, I'm about to end my internship. I'm having trouble getting a regular job. No callback. New York population, by the way. Any tips? Yeah, leave New York for one, because you're going against more applicants than anywhere in the world. Two, I'd have to review your resume and LinkedIn and GitHub and cover letter. Like those are the most crucial things. I do offer mentorship, so like obviously we can't do it right here live, but I do offer 1-hour mentoring sessions where we can go over all these things. I can give you some tips and tricks on how to improve it to get noticed, and some things that you might be missing, some things that you left off. Although one-on-one stuff like that costs $150 for an hour, so that's what I charge, which is always goes up based off my hourly rate. So I should probably be increasing it again, but that seems good for now. Dude, it mind blown. When I asked, so Angular 2 was in beta, like it had been in beta for a while. I asked, well, why are we doing Angular JS? Well, couldn't figure out Angular 2. This was a $30 an hour. I don't know. I don't remember how much you make at 60. What is 62,000 a year? Whatever that breaks down to an hour. Dylan, is a master's in CS worth the time? Probably not. If you saw the recent Hacker Rank survey that we did, had like 50,000 developers, of the ones that had master's degree, only 1 in 4 said it was worth their time, or that helped their career. I forget what it was, but more or less worth their time, right? Are most dev jobs paid hourly or salary? At least in America, right? In America, they want to have that S in salary stands for slave. The L, labor. All right, slavery. That's what it is. Because they want to work you to the bone if you let them. Don't do it. The only thing you should be investing in is yourself. So. All right, guys, we're about at our 1 hour. I think it's time to call it. I appreciate you guys watching the stream. This is our weekly weekend AMA where I try to answer your questions, provide some value. help out, mentor a little bit. If you like what I have to say, you want to check out some of my courses, think I could teach you a thing or two. The latest one, the 100 front end technical interview question challenge, is 9.99. Covers over 100 different front end interview questions. You can get it for in the description below, or use coupon code coding out, or the 100 algorithm challenge. Help prep you for those technical interviews. With that, with that being said, I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.